Right, hello. I'm talking today about price changes on BatchLine because there have been some recent changes to the BatchLine system that have improved the options to keep your stock records up to date with the correct prices. There's changes that both affect the retail price, what you sell to the customer, and more recently, the cost price, what you need to know for your accountant. The retail prices bit we'll go through first. It's relatively straightforward. When you very first add a book record to BatchLine, whether it's via your stock ordering system, an ISBN list, or a customer order, the price on BatchLine will come from the BDS data provider, and that will stay the price on your system until something triggers a change. That means if you ordered a book a few months ago and it came in at $8.99, it'll stay at $8.99 even if the publisher changes it to $9.99. That makes sense because your book's going to be $8.99 while it's on the shelf until you sell it. The next copy you come in will probably come in at the higher $9.99 price. A BatchLine processes this in the goods in process. So if you're using the invoice receiving function of BatchLine and using electronic invoices, BatchLine will see that the price doesn't match the invoice and your system, and it will tell you. It will flag, say what the new price is, and give you the opportunity to say yes, it will accept the new price. Good practice is to have a look at the book to make sure that if it does say it's gone up by a couple of pounds, that the book actually does. If it doesn't, then it's up to you about making a claim. It is very rare that it does happen, but you may have to make a claim and say, you're saying it's $9.99, but in fact it is $8.99. And then you go on to batch, make your claim as normal. A caveat, though, and this is entirely up to you as managers and owners, if the price is only £1 difference, the cost of administration, going through the processes to make a claim for £1, less the discount you get from gardeners, you probably find it isn't really that worth it. And I find it easier to take it on the chin. But I'm not advocating that for your business. That's your call. Okay, so basically when you book it in, the invoice receiving process changes the prices for you. If you don't use invoice receiving and do it the old manual way, one, I'd recommend going to invoice receiving. But if you don't want to, you work the old way, but you still have to scan, check the price on the book, scan, check the price on the book. And if it's different, change it manually the way you always have. Okay. There are other times you may get an update. We've seen it pop up when you do reorder from sales. So it will say that Gardeners actually has it at this price. And would you like to accept the new price when you do reorder from sales? And you just press yes when you get the option. Also, if you process an ISBN list, BatchLine prompts you to check prices in the background. In the screenshot you get with this, it says, do you want to check against P&A before ordering? If you don't know what P&A is, it's price and availability. Okay. There are a couple of repercussions with this. If you keep large quantities of some books and you've reordered some while you've still got some in stock and a new price comes in, you'll have some at the lower price and you've been recommended to have some at the new price. I would recommend accept the new price, and it's good practice when you're at the till when you scan the book for the customer that you're checking the price anyway. So if someone brings one of the lower price books up, you can manually change it on the till. If you don't, you'll find that you'll constantly be, every time you get the book in, you'll keep not accepting the price because you think, I still might have old ones. I would always say, if you've got multiple copies, take the new price and check it at the till when it happens. The second repercussion may come with customer orders. The ISBN record on Open Browser will change with the new price, and so will the customer order slip, even though the customer order slip has a different barcode. So you might have quoted to the customer, this book's $8.99, it comes in at $9.99. Again, it's your call what you do in your shop. More often than not, the customer won't remember what they've been quoted anyway. Because it's on the back of the book, it probably doesn't matter. The customer sees the back of the book says $9.99, even though you were told them a couple of days ago it was $8.99. Where it does happen is if the customer's paid in advance and you've actually taken a deposit for the book. If you've done that, they're not expecting to pay more money. Again, it's your call what you do with it. We personally wouldn't charge the customer the extra pound. It's one of those, sorry, we lose out this time, but don't worry too much about it. It's good customer service not to. So you just have to change the price on the till when you sell the book so that it matches the deposit the customer's already paid. So that's basically it for retail prices. Cost prices are a second thing. So cost price is obviously not set by BDS and it's not set by gardeners. It's set by the publisher or distributor that you've made the agreement with when the book comes in. So it can't be done quite so simply as it's $9.99, here you go, you paid X for it, because the only thing that knows that is the invoice you yourself. So weirdly, the managing of this is actually done via Open Bravo, and that's where you get the details from it. But the data goes in via BatchLine. So when you do your invoice receiving electronically, it will look at the cost price of the book and fill in the part on your stock record where it's got the cost price with the cost price as the invoice says it is. That's fine, that's easy. You don't even need to think about it, it's happening automatically. If you're doing it any other way and you book it in manually, you'll have needed to tell BatchLine what to expect for that distributor. The first time you do it, it will say, do you want to change this to whatever? It'll say it's 0%. Do you want to change it to whatever discount? And then, well, then you have to manually put the discount that you want to do it. It will prompt you to do that. Or you can actually go into the back of house of BatchLine, go into maintenance and suppliers, find the supplier, and manually put the default discount in there. Okay, I would also recommend doing that for all of your stationery suppliers, because they probably won't get a pop-up because you may not book those in. The reason that you do it for all of your suppliers is BatchLine will go through and then make sure that if it hasn't got a cost price, it'll put a cost price in for you. So it'll mean that your stationery items will now have a cost price in there, even though you didn't book them in via invoices. But it also means when you run the report through Open Bravo, that it will have all accurate records on there for not just books, but also for stationery as well. And then you can get your cost price for that if you need to use that for your accountant. The details of getting that information and how to run those processes, it isn't improved. I can't improve on it than already the release notes for the upgrade 4.65 available already on the BatchLine website. And I'll defer to that because I think that makes much more sense for dealing with the reports from cost price. It may not be the only way you can do cost price for your accountant. We don't specifically do it for that reason. We have a much more complicated way of doing it, but that's just me. But this is a nice, easy way that you can get the details straight from Open Bravo to your system. Right, that's about it for retail and cost price changes. Right, hope that's helpful.